Have you ever heard me talk about courage? I know, that's kind of silly. If you've been following me for any length of time, you know that I talk about courage a lot. And the reason that I do is that I believe that fear is the number one thing that holds us back or keeps us down. And we can't afford to allow that beast of fear to continue to wreak havoc in our lives. The reason that I created Lubadoos is so that girls could learn the kind of things that we all wish we had learned earlier on in life or retained and maintained throughout our lives. And so at the core of all of the stories that I have created is courage, but there's so much more to each one. And each one focuses on a girl that has challenges and how she goes about not just overcoming those challenges for herself, but being called to this magical land to help solve a problem or even save the land. And so I think that you really should read Blair and the Forgotten Flames. While I wrote this book and all of the stories right now are for girls, I still feel like you can get so much out of it. In fact, the adults that have read it so far love it and felt like they learned a lot from it. So anyway, what happens in Blair and the Forgotten Flames is that she is called to Blazewink, the desert region of Lubadoo land, because the 5 sacred flames have been snuffed out by beasts. And she has to go and battle those beasts, right? Just like life, like we are all battling our beasts. She comes up against mischief makers, but the good news is she has a guide. She has the guardian who believes in her and a helper that we call loyals. And so throughout this story, she's going to go from place to place in the desert region of Blazewink and fight to reignite each flame. What's cool is that each one represents a virtue. And these are all those that, yes, girls need to learn and hold on to, but so do the rest of us. The first one, of course, is courage. That's the first flame. It's at the pillar at Corthia. Oh my gosh, I love it so much. And then she goes on to the next one, which is value. And I don't think that girls have ever been up against so much because we have the internet, because we have that instant information, that 24/7 information. There's more bullying. There's just more than we ever dealt with. And so that second flame is value. And it's really cool because in the beginning, you'll see this character, Blair, you will see that she is struggling with value. She's struggling to believe in herself. She's struggling to stand up for herself. And so not only is she called to this region to do something very important, to be that hero, she also brings something back within herself. That's what's so cool. It's that bridge between that world and ours. So she's going to learn through this particular challenge about her value. And the third flame is identity. And what I mean by that is your identity, who you are, is important. I think what's happening now is that girls and even adults, we're trying to fall in line and be like everyone else, be like somebody else, and not anybody but ourselves. And I think that's so damaging. Each one of us was put on this earth to be unique and to be valued for having that separate identity, not being like everyone else. The fourth flame represents integrity. Boy, don't we all need a little more integrity in our lives these days? Not saying you don't have it, but around us. It seems to be that, the truth and doing the right thing when nobody's watching has gone out the window. And so I think you're going to be very surprised about how this integrity flame is represented in this story. And the final flame is hope. Without hope, what do we have? Without hope, we have nothing. So in this story, Blair and the Forgotten Flames, like I said, those 5 virtues, courage, value, identity, integrity, and hope, are all things that you need in your life. And so I think it'd be really fun for you to read this book, because if you've read any of my other books or followed my other messages or been to my events, we always have a lot of laughs and everything, but subject matter of trauma and the things that some of us have been through are deep. And wouldn't it be great for you yourself to even learn some lessons in a fun and magical way? And of course, for all of the girls in your life. So I hope that Blair and the Forgotten Flames, Lubadoos, and this video message inspires you to believe in yourself.